Okay. I think that'd be good. People can download this particular episode. The rest of them have just been live and thrown away after. But this one we'll record.
All right, sounds good.
Patrons,
all the other ones are lost into the ether.
Yeah.
This one, however,
you'll never get them back.
For posterity.
Never get those back. All right, patrons, see you in a minute. All right, those guys are good. All right, we have begun the recording. All right, here we go. It starts in... Is it recording? Yes. Let's see here. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
We don't know where Jeff picked up his cold. Maybe somebody left one on the bathroom glass.
Don't look down on me!
I don't.
The Morning Stream. I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the morning stream. It is TMS for October 29, 2019. Halloween is upon us. Therefore, we are the very scary Scott Johnson and Brian Ibbett.
Ooh, spooky.
Ooh. Have you watched a single Halloween movie or TV show this season at all?
Nothing that I haven't had to. So, in other words, we watched Carrie, right, for Film Sacked, but
Right.
I had to watch Carrie for Film Sacked and all the other things we did for Sacktober. But aside from that, no, I don't think I really have.
None for just your own pleasure, just to sit down
No,
and do it.
and here's the thing. I mean, Mindhunter doesn't really count. The stuff we're watching that I'm going to be recommending tomorrow probably doesn't count.
Yeah.
Tina told me this last weekend when we were going to see Judy, I said, "Oh yeah, Dr. Sleep comes out this weekend. Oh, really want to see that?" She's like, "Nope." What? Come on! You saw The Shining? She's like, "Yeah," and it scared the crap out of me. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
But Tina, I was almost in that movie. I was almost in The Shining. They would have been showing clips of me running around on my little three-wheeler all over the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, that could have been you. They're going to have flashbacks of that and stuff. We've seen it in the trailer.
They are. I mean, the trailer even has flashbacks.
Yep, little Torrance kid. That could have been you. Yeah. Oh man,
could have been me.
If it was you, though,
I could have been played by Ewan McGregor.
Here's the thing, though. Had it been you, there'd probably be no Coverville. There'd be no TMS.
I don't know.
There'd be none of this stuff.
I don't know because it's that guy's not still in acting. He's, I think, a veterinarian now.
That's true. So maybe you'd be a vet.
That's the natural progression. Jack Nicholson chases you around a stage for several weeks, and then you become a vet.
Yeah, you decide to throw yourself into animal care after that.
Oh, take care of some animals.
Do it. Get on there. You're making Jack a very happy boy, or whatever he said. So anyway, I'm actually really curious about that movie. But here's the thing: my wife is the same. She doesn't want to see scary movies. She's not interested. But she likes things like The Quiet Place. So if it's like a tense thing, she's into that.
Sure.
But she doesn't
thrillers.
want scary.
Oh, Tina's fine with thrillers.
Yeah.
She's just thinking that this is going to be like spooky jump scare, possession.
She's right. She's right. It will be.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. And her and Kim are the same. She doesn't want to see that stuff either. So I've had to. Those are headphone and iPad moments for me. I have to just watch that stuff.
I know. I just don't want to wait. I mean, I could go. I'm physically able to go to the theater and see a movie by myself.
Sure.
But
you're physically
this is something
able.
that I've done, and I do. And I did that with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and
you saw that alone, all by your lonesome.
I saw it opening day on my lonesome. No, what was? Oh no. I mean, I did see it by myself. I saw it opening night with Tina and a few other people, and then on a whim, I said, I want to go watch an IMAX. I like we were talking to Steven Schleicher about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he was
on
saying
this
it was
very
great.
show.
Yep.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to go see it this afternoon. I went bloop, and I ordered my ticket, and I went and saw it in IMAX.
Nice.
So
is that the sound
by myself.
Is that the sound the website made when you clicked OK? It went bloop.
Boop. Bloop. Yep, that's exactly. Went meep.
Yeah, I was hope it would go.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
that's what I say when I get my ticket.
Yeah.
Did I get my ticket? Yeah. All right, good. Let's go see the movie.
Oh, that was crazy. I played that exactly when you did it, and it sounded the same. That was
no
weird.
way. Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you type it perfectly?
I typed it perfectly, and it sounded like you were in the room. That's weird. All right.
That's amazing.
Really? Some people in the red chat, someone says The Lighthouse is not that good. I keep hearing it's amazing. I hear it is
one
something
again.
else.
One person in the lighthouse, or one person in the chat room.
One person in the lighthouse.
One person in the lighthouse said that the chat room is not good.
Which was
Willem
it?
Dafoe does not approve of our chat room.
That's right. The Green
Because
Goblin.
someone on this show keeps calling him William. I won't say who it is, Nicole.
I can't think of the last thing I went to where it was on my own in a theater. I just haven't done it in a long time.
Really?
Like years and years and years, yeah. Not that I wouldn't or haven't, I'd have nothing against it. I just haven't done it. So maybe I need to. Maybe I got to get out there. Maybe Dr. Sleep and I'll have to have a little bit of an intimate moment on our own there.
Maybe if only they would put a decent theater in Green River, then we could do the meet halfway, have some sushi, watch a movie.
Sweat.
What else were we talking about? Oh yeah, open a comic store with a bar on the back.
Yeah, and sweat. We have to sweat there because it's hot.
Golly, Scott, the comic book store with a bar on the back. It's just we just got to figure out a way to make it happen because it is the perfect joint operation.
Yeah.
Because guess who works in the bar?
Right.
Me.
Right.
Guess who works in the front with the comic books? You.
Me.
We manage the tabletop thing, and it feels like somebody's got to make a sitcom about it.
Yeah.
It's like it's that good an idea.
Yeah, or do a documentary on it or something, like one of those docuseries.
Right.
Like that Kevin Smith comic book store thing. We should do like that. Yeah, that's how we're going to retire, everybody. So send your donations in now to make this weird idea happen.
Let's make it happen.
That's
our new Patreon goal.
We're going to put Green River on the map. It's going to be huge.
It's not entertainment mecca.
Yeah, it's not just
sushi, movies, and the comic book store with a bar in the back.
Yeah, not just for summer camp Boy Scouts anymore. That town, it's going to go big. All right, so here's the deal this morning. We got a few things going on. Speaking of trailers, like movies, this is a bad transition. So it's a long story, so I'll try to make it short, but this is interesting. My son, Nicholas, you may be familiar with his work.
Yes, very familiar.
Yeah, he's the town crier. He has been, for as long as I can remember, probably from about 14 up, and he's 19 now, has talked about how he, like, every time you see like one of these videos or a documentary or something where somebody lives in one of those converted containers like a tiny house,
a shipping container, right?
Yeah, where they gut it and they retrofit it, and it's got bathrooms and kitchen and like the whole. They're nice, but they're tiny. He loves that idea. That's been a thing he's talked about all that time. Oh, Dad, one day, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. So he keeps saying it and saying it and saying it. Well, yesterday, a number of events happened. I won't get into those because some of them are kind of gnarly. But anyway, it turns out there is now a streamliner, or what are they called?
Yeah, like one of those. Not a Winnebago. Well, like a Winnebago or
kind of, but this is the kind you pull with a truck, and I think they're called
third wheel.
Something
Airstreams. Airstreams. The silver ones that look like tinfoil. Tinfoil loaf of bread, basically.
Yes, yeah, basically like a big potato that's getting ready to be baked. We had one come available for a very low price that he can afford with with payments. But I think he's gonna do it, and I think he's gonna live in a mobile trailer thing of an Airstream.
Is he gonna park it down by the river? It feels like this is the opening to.
Well, see, that's what I said, and I said, well, where do you actually put this? Because we have nowhere to put it here. It doesn't fit. We just don't have the room.
Well, plus you might even have a homeowner's, or there might be a city ordinance that says you can't leave it on the street for more than 48 hours. That's the case here, even without the homeowners association that would freak out about it if there wasn't already an Arvada city ordinance about that.
Yeah, we have nowhere to hide it, basically. I guess we could tuck it into the backyard and then never have a backyard again, but that seems dumb. So anyway, so my first thing was like, where are you putting it? And he did a bunch of research, and apparently, and I didn't know this is true, apparently there's this way you can do it. Old people, a lot of old people, they retire in these things and just go around the country all year. That's all they do. They don't have a house. They sell their house. They get an Airstream, or they get a Winnebago, they get whatever they get, and then they just spend the rest of their lives going to all the campgrounds, all the trailer stops, all the whatever things that you do. My grandparents did this. This was a thing they were huge on.
Yeah, but the difference is they're living off their retirement.
Correct.
I don't, as far as I know, Nicholas has not been saving up for for this retirement plan.
Right. So this is the trick. Or here's the difference. When those people do that, when they go and they stay somewhere for any extended period of time, let's say you're traveling to Colorado and you're like, all right, we're going to be there a month. There are these places where you park your thing and they have direct plumbing, electricity, and a lot of times internet.
Sure.
All the basics, water, all that.
We're not talking about a trailer park, right? This is something different than a trailer park.
No, yeah, it's kind of like a trailer campground, like a
like a KOA campground kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like that. And you can go there, and for $300 a month, you get a slot if there's one open, and you just stay there as long as you want. And you just pay $300 a month until you don't want to be there anymore, and then you go somewhere. So apparently that's already a thing. So his thinking is, gets the trailer. It's a nice one. It's in great shape. He's going to clean it out real good because the previous occupant may have been a little Jesse Pinkman-ish.
Oh, God.
I mean, just in the activities that were perhaps happening in there. Not like cooking meth. I don't mean like...
God, okay.
No, you burn that. Gotcha. Like, I just mean like, you know...
there'd be a smell.
Crashing there at night. Maybe a little vaping was happening, that sort of thing. But anyway, they're going to take it. He's going to clean it all out. And then what he wants to do is take it to one of these places, and there's a ton of them here. And just for $300 a month, that's basically his rent. And he parks that thing and he lives there, goes to his job every day, comes home to his cool little... I mean, he really wants to do this. And if I was 19, like my old guy self goes, oh, I don't know, bud. This seems weird, but hippie weird. You know, like I have all these misgivings. But if I'm honest with myself and I was 19, I would do this in a freaking heartbeat.
It does feel like the millennial thing, doesn't it? Like... You know, they're into the whole like.
Well, he's a Z, right? Aren't they Gen Z? They're different.
He might be Gen. Yeah, that's true. I guess he's not. He's even younger than millennial. But the whole like living off of DoorDash and Uber Eats and the whole gig lifestyle. Why doesn't he do this? Why doesn't he turn it into an Uber that can take 30 people at a time? Well, Uber XXXXXXL.
The problem with that is here's the other hitch, and he hasn't been able to figure this out. But hitch is a funny word because he needs like a truck to pull it around. His Honda's not going to do it.
That's what I figured it was going to be. Like that's why it's so funny that you said hitch. Here's the hitch.
Yeah, exactly. So he needs a truck type unit to pull it, and doesn't have one. So getting it from where it is now to where he needs it to be for this idea is no problem. Steve's got a truck, for example. My brother-in-law will just use his. Just to get it over there and park it, but to move it around anywhere, he'd have to like get a truck. So there's other issues associated with it where I'm like, I don't know, bud. Like all my practical old guy brain stuff has definitely been kicking in on this, and I've been kind of I don't know, kind of like that guy.
Sure.
But if I'm 19 and I would do this so bad, I would do this. So I got to be 100% behind it because why not? And we had a long talk about it, and he's genuinely jazzed about it. It's like a thing he's always wanted to do. It's like me when I was like a kid. I wanted a house with a giant slide and a foam pit, and I wanted it so bad. And I'm still kind of mad I don't have it. I'm mad I never did.
You know what? There's still time. There's still time that we can do this.
Yeah.
No, I mean I feel like this is this is kind of the dream, right? Like the freedom of being able to say, oh, I want to move. You know what? I'll just hook up my trailer to a car and move to another campground, RV park or something. Or if he decides, I mean, again, I'm back thinking about what I would do if I was him.
Yeah.
Get a vehicle that has a hitch, but still is pretty decent as far as gas mileage when you don't have the trailer hooked up to it.
Yeah. Go
to a city you want to go to, park in the campground, and then Uber or Lyft all day long to help pay for your other needs.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're kind of like you're getting to explore, you're getting to see other cities, travel around the country.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He may want to do that too. I mean, the problem is he's got a job like here in town, so.
Yeah, I know the Red Wing thing, but which is cool.
Yeah, but eventually,
I mean, if you didn't have that would be the kind of the dream life for me for that age.
Yeah.
Not now. I don't think I could do it now, married or not.
Oh, same.
But,
same exact thing. So that's why I'm thinking about it like this, and I'm trying to think of it from the eyeballs of a 19-year-old kid who's a good kid. He's got great prospects. He's up to good stuff. He's like a great kid.
Oh, yeah, 19 probably wouldn't be able to do the Uber thing. I think you have to be 21 to do that stuff.
Oh, that makes sense. Do you? You probably do, because you have to have isn't it the insurance cut or whatever? Or no? How does that work? I don't know how that works.
Well, I mean, I know you have to be 25 to rent a car from some places. So
yeah, and I think the 21 is when your insurance starts to go down, something like that. But my wife. So someone in the chat says, "How does Kim feel about this?" She is 100% support. She always is. If the kids have a dream and they want to follow it, she's 100% there. I'm the wishy-washy one that's like, well, now have we thought this through? Have we considered all of the boring shit I would have hated if I was your age and my dad said this? Have we considered all of that? And she's better at that than I am. Yeah. She's good at that stuff. So anyway, cool. We'll see. We'll report later on how this goes. But yeah, we may. I may have a son living in a camper soon. And the thing is, he's not. Cool. This is not because of pressure. Like, Nick, you need to get out of here. It's time for you to. We're not doing that. And he's not. Sure. He's not like pining to do that. It's just this opportunity presented itself, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is it. This is my thing. This is my big long tube of happiness." So
that'd be fun, Hey, does he want a couple roommates?
I even asked him, so that's funny you said that. I said, have you thought about maybe a roommate, like your friend, not Tristan, his friend's name is Breton. I said, do you think maybe Breton could move in there with you? And he goes, oh, Dad, I don't know. It's not enough room. And so he thinks it's maybe not enough room for anybody but himself. But I also said, hey, you might get lonely in there. You might have your computer and your internet and your games and your whatnot, but it's not as fun as hanging out with us. He goes, oh, I'll still, you guys will come over all the time, and I'll come over here all the time, and like, he's all good. It's just, I don't know. It feels weird to me. Oh, and he may take Boomer, but I don't know how that'll work. I don't know if they let you keep a dog in there for a period of time, or you have to dog daycare it or something during the day, or not. And I'm like,
I don't know. I would think that would be okay. I mean, it's a trailer. They're not gonna. It's not like the Ritz where you have to worry about a damage deposit for the.
Exactly.
So grass around the.
I mean, to me, it seems like it would be a fun part of the adventure, but part of me's like, oh, don't lock him up for 8 hours while you work every day. Like, Boomer needs to be free. Like, she'll get fat and gross, and I'm happy to keep her here and walk her and do all the stuff I do. So I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But that was the original idea: is that he would have his little dream container, and he would take the dog with him, and he would live like this weird late 60s sort of vagabond, far west adventure, but we'll see how it goes.
That's
all
cool.
Right, Brian, we got a great email this morning I'd like to read from our good buddy Jeff Sire, aka Bronco, from Bromanville, Ontario, Canada. He says this: Scott and Brian.
Did you say Bromanville?
What did I say? Yeah, it's Bowmanville, but what did I say? Did I say Bromanville?
It sounded like you might have said Bromanville, which he's our bro.
Yeah.
So sure, I see where that was going.
He is kind of a bro. He is very much a man. So Bromanville.
Bro man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Let's get to the letter.
I don't know how I did that. All right. Scott and Brian, can either of you think of a movie you saw that started so differently from what you expected that you had to pause it and confirm you were watching the right movie? He says, for me, it was Monty Python and the Meaning of Life. When it started black and white in the office building, sailing around like a pirate ship, I had to eject the tape and make sure, says Jeff Sire. I mean, I've had plenty of movies where, like, midway through, like, Dusk Till Dawn, I was like, what is this? I've had that happen, but I'm trying to think of a movie where I had to check it.
I thought I was watching a movie about a bunch of toys that were talking to each other, but this is about some dumb snow globe living on the fireplace hearth.
What a terrible, terrible fate that is.
Oh, right, exactly. I can't think of any other. I mean,
I
can't think of any other movie where I felt like that, because that's a great example. Because what is that? It's got such a great name, the something acquisition, or the battle of the. Oh, what is that called?
I forgot. The thing.
Because it's great, because like all the they start putting their ties around their head. Like bandanas, and using paper cutters as swords. And
I don't remember that. What is that?
You don't remember that?
No, it sounds amazing.
The Crimson Permanent Assurance.
I don't remember that.
You know, remember the Crimson Permanent Insurance?
No.
Yeah, like so basically it's a bunch of guys working in an office building, and they're you know, just working on acquisitions or something, this conference. But then in the windows next to the conference room, and again, this is me remembering, this is like you in that Back to the Future memory thing that you did a while back. In the windows next to them, another building kind of slides up, kind of like another ship kind of saddling up to the main pirate ship, and they look over, and like all of a sudden, like cannonballs come through. No, fax machines and printers come through the windows.
Now I remember.
And guys are swinging in suits, 3-piece suits, into the.
But wasn't that? I thought that was in the Now for Something Completely Different thing where they.
No, that's the beginning of The Meaning of Life, which is funny because all the rest of that movie has to deal with birth and growing up and adolescence and maturity and puberty and death.
Death, yeah.
This is like a whole different thing. Like I mean, it's obviously it's a big Terry Gilliam thing, and it's, man, it might be one of my favorite things ever. Wow. By the way,
fishy, fishy, fish. Yeah,
that's right. Same movie. This is Crimson Permanent Insurance is Matt Frewer's debut performance. Max Headroom's first performance in anything was in the Crimson Permanent Insurance.
Did he have a line, or is he just there? Probably just there.
I think he has a line. I think he's one of the corporate, one of the corporate suits.
I just saw him the other day while Van was watching Hercules, Disney's Hercules. He's the voice of one of the little demon guys that works for Hades.
Nice.
Yeah, Matt Frewer from tiny role in a Monty Python horribly misunderstood film to that.
To selling Coca-Cola products.
Yep.
As a head in a
oh, that's right. I forgot. Coke had him on for Coke used him for years, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to remember what came first. I know the TV show came last, the Max Headroom TV show.
Yeah. I think
the Art of Noise thing, the Paranoia song and music video for that. I want to say that it was
Coke had
it just started out as a Coke thing, right?
I don't know. Seems to me like there was a small. He was not like you. See, it's hard for me to think of a world before YouTube or where people could make their own thing. But it felt kind of like that. Like maybe there were these weird underground videos of him doing that, and then it caught on, and then the Coke thing happened.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember, why would they use it before that? Why, like, where would the?
Sorry, Tally in the chat. I have no idea what this shit is. Come on, Max Headroom, really? You don't know who Max Headroom is?
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so Coke used him. So basically, it was a UK pilot US show. Yeah. It was an indie movie first.
Yeah, I watched this with Tom for Autopilot forever ago, but I didn't know.
Well, you watched the US.
No, we did the UK one, the European one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did it on purpose because we were into that for that show. It was like if there was a more originating version of something, we would track it down and find it.
Gotcha.
Like,
yeah.
canceled.
Okay, here it is. Max Headroom, 20 Minutes into the Future, a cyberpunk television film created by Chrysalis Visual Programming for Channel 4 in the UK to provide a backstory for Max Headroom, a computer-generated TV host.
Yeah. And then it went on to be super commercialized and very strange.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It was an MTV thing for a while too, wasn't he? Wasn't there like he'd make appearances on MTV, or am I?
I mean, I have memory of that too. That was when MTV was very weird and experimental with their interstitial stuff. So probably.
Yeah.
This would be something you'd see on like Adult Swim now. Like it's that kind of if you're like, what the hell is all this? Think of it that way. Like if you watch Adult Swim and they have all that weird in between stuff and things. It's kind of that for that era, kind of just a weird, and it became very mainstream though. When the Coke thing happened, it was like, oh, okay, well, and then it was like too commercial, and I kind of hated it then. But that's just because I hated everything commercial then. But anyway, and then Matt Frewer, yeah, he's the Explodey guy in the Stan TV miniseries that was in the '90s. But he's also lately just very interesting when he's in stuff now, kind of grizzled and gnarly looking. And really, I like him. Like, I feel like Matt Frewer is underrated as a whatever he is, a performer.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's been in He was in Spies Like Us. He was in the Supergirl movie with Helen Slater.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in that Generation X. He has a little bit of a Marvel connection. Oh, he was Moloch in the Watchmen movie.
Oh, right. Right. We just did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just saw
Yes,
that.
we did.
Yeah. Was he in Lawnmower Man? No.
Yes, he was in Lawnmower Man 2 Beyond Cyberspace.
Oh, okay. We haven't seen that one for Film Sack.
No.
We should.
He was in something called $20 as receding bingo winner.
Wait, was he receding or was his hair receding?
I don't know.
Was it like I've won my winnings and then went?
Check out this. Okay, this is boy, talk about your tangent. But 1993 film called $20, directed by Kiva Rosenfield. Listen to the people the stars.
Okay.
Linda Hunt, Brendan Fraser,
Oh.
Gladys Knight,
Jeez.
Elizabeth Shue,
What?
Steve Buscemi,
Ah.
Christopher Lloyd,
Whoa.
William H. Macy, David Schwimmer, and Shori Agadashlu. You know that woman who has the really scratchy voice, Middle Eastern woman who.
Oh, she's on.
acts in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she's in the Expanse. She's fantastic on there.
Yes.
Yeah, she's really good. You know what she is? She is a
Oh,
freak
we've
of
never
nature.
heard of this thing.
She's a freak of nature because the best I can tell, I've stared at her long and hard, okay? She doesn't look like she has had any plastic surgery done.
No.
And she's in her, I don't know, late 60s, early 70s, and she is still drop dead gorgeous. I don't know how she does it, and then she comes out with that voice that sounds like Harvey, what was that guy with the...
Harvey, not Harvey Keitel, Harvey Weinstein, not Harvey Weinstein,
no,
Harvey,
you know who I mean.
Harvey Danger.
It's
No,
like,
Harvey.
Homer, you're going to get the minoxidil, Homer. He was in that Simpsons
Right.
episode. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know
Harvey
who you're talking about.
Dent.
Firestein, Harvey Firestein.
Firestein.
Wallpaper. Harvey Dent. Oh, there's a lot of Harveys. She's 67, by the way.
Yeah, she is something else, man. And she's so good on
Yeah.
The Expanse. Oh my gosh, she's great on there.
Yeah, she's great. House of Sand and Fog. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That was
Yeah.
really good.
So that's interesting. Matt Frewer.
Yeah.
How we got
Good
there.
old Matt.
Oh,
Yeah.
anyway, Jeff, my
Monty
answer is
Python.
the closest I can get to this thing would be I sat down to watch a Mark Wahlberg movie that was recent, the one about the oil spill, the BP mess. What was that called? Shoot. Oil in the Sky. Let's burn this oil. I don't remember. It's got a name like that. And it came out right around the time his other movie about the Boston Marathon came out. Deepwater Horizon, that's it.
Deepwater Horizon. Okay.
Let's burn the oil. Anyway, that thing happened, and I sat down in the movie theater to watch it. And when it started, I had this disquieting feeling that I was in the wrong movie, that I was in the wrong theater. And it took me until I saw Wahlberg. I went, "Oh, okay, wait, no, we're good. This is it." But I don't know why. I don't know why that one in particular. I just felt I bumped Kim. I go, "Are we in the right theater?" Because I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of that. Can't think of a movie like that for me.
All right. Well, there you go. Good job there, Jeff. And enjoy. I haven't seen Meaning of Life in a long time, but I wouldn't mind catching up with that again. It's a weird thing. What a weird movie.
It is a really weird movie. There's a lot of weird nudity in it.
Yeah, not good nudity. Weird nudity.
Weird nudity.
Yeah. I mean, there's that scene at the end when I always thought it was Michael Palin, but it wasn't. It was Graham Chapman's getting chased by all the topless ladies.
Yes.
And they're all lovely human
Right.
beings, but it's presented in such a way. It's just
Because it's a world where you get to choose the way you're going to be executed.
yeah. And every sperm is what's the thing? Every sperm is
sacred.
Sacred is one of my favorite little musical numbers they ever did. The "Where's my fishy fish" thing is the weirdest thing ever. The barf scene still scarred me. I still think about it, or all the time.
Oh yeah, Mr. Creosote, sure.
I don't like it. That one's gross.
Best barf scene ever in a film.
Oh, is there anything that even come close?
No. Yes, the scene in Stand By Me where everybody's eating blueberry pies and then blueberry vomiting on each other.
Wait, is that the one where they got? What am I thinking of? Where they get on the carousel after? Oh, that wouldn't have been Stand By Me.
No.
Did they do that in the Sandlot? Everybody got sick. Yeah, Sandlot. That's what it was. And
Sandlot?
everyone got sick on the carousel barf. thing. Or it wasn't carousel, water, whatever it was. Anyway, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. That's a comparable one, sure.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, that's but that's only like one. That's like 1 minute of a 2-hour film. The creosote thing lasts for like 15, 20 minutes of him puking on the lady who's cleaning up the puke on the floor, and
it's so ridiculous. Oh my gosh! All right, let's take our leave from that wonderful conversation and move on into this.
Say, gang, here's some razzle-dazzle news to flash to Mom.
All right, it's time for the news brought to you by
Razzle Dazzle News. Hey, there's a slight change this week for Boop. Dunaway had car problems, so we're now doing it tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Check it out, Boop.
Yeah, tomorrow. I guess he had a thing where he left something with a dealer. How often does this happen to you? You leave a car at the dealer. Dealer says, okay, it'll be 15 minutes. 7 hours later, you're still dealing with it.
Yeah. Oh, we found these other things that we need to address. Sorry. Yeah.
Annoyed. Problem
Moose
Child
outside
2?
should have told you.
Hold on. Dice Tomato says Problem Child 2 has a bad barf scene in it.
Yeah, he even gave us a link. Do you want to see it?
I'm going to click it here. I see it right here.
Mine says video unavailable.
Wow, look at that cool ride!
Oh, jeez.
Now you want it?
Sure, pal, that's why we're here.
Oh, this is John Ritter.
Poor John Ritter. Yeah.
Let's see. Let me scooch up here to where it gets bad.
And his wife, Amy Yazbek.
Yazbek? Yeah.
Yazbek.
Yeah, that's what you want. Yazbek. Okay, this kid is smiling. I'm just getting to the part. This is a long clip. It's like 5.5 minutes.
Well,
I'm just waiting for. Oh, geez, it is bad. But it's obviously one of those like an SNL trick where they got like their hand up to this side and there's a hose up there and it's that whole thing. Lame. All right. Hey, I've been holding on to this story forever and we're going to tell it now.
Okay. I'm ready.
Equifax or Equifax, I don't know how you say it. They've been kind of in trouble for stuff. Just bad management, bad IT, things like that. Well, now we found out that they used admin as a username and password for sensitive data. Yep.
So the password was admin because it was admin.
Admin. Equifax, also EFX on the stock exchange, used the word admin as both password and username for a portal that contains sensitive information, according to a class action lawsuit filed in federal court. This is happening in Georgia, but it's a kind of a national thing. The ongoing lawsuit filed after the breach went viral on Friday after BuzzFeed reporter came across this detail. Equifax employed the username admin and the password admin to protect a portal used to manage credit disputes, a password that is a surefire way to get hacked. It's not even getting hacked. That's just that's leaving the door open. That's what that is.
Right, exactly. Yes, it's leaving everything unlocked and just saying, it's probably going to be one of the first things you try.
Yeah. How dumb is that? Oh my gosh, this annoys me. Lawsuit also notes Equifax admitted using unencrypted servers to store sensitive personal information that had been part of its public-facing website. It says here when Equifax won, I keep saying it the different way every time I say their name.
Equifax.
Equifax. Equifax. One of the 3 largest consumer credit reporting agencies did encrypt data, the lawsuit it says. It left the keys to unlocking the encryption on public-facing servers, making it easy to remove the encryption from the data. So it'd kind of be like, this is all safe in this safe here. I put all my important things in this safe, and a little Post-it note attached to it with the combination.
Right.
Dumbasses.
Yeah. Like Dice Tomato says, it's like leaving the key in the sun visor.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh my gosh. Has anyone ever done that since movies do it all the time? Regular humans don't do it, right?
No, nobody does that. Yeah. But when the guy gets out of jail or breaks out of the pen, and he goes to the car that's parked across the street, and flips down the visor, and the key falls in his lap. It's. Here's
how he goes. This is how it looks. He checks here, then he looks up here, pulls it down, drops in his hand, and he looks stoked, puts it in. Every time. Oh.
Every single time.
Movies, dude. Movies.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're making it up.
As a matter of fact, I think movies invented doing that. I think if anybody does it, it's because they saw it in a movie. And
that's how it feels.
Yeah. Saw that it ended really well for people.
I could totally see this. All right. Well, Equifax still in trouble.
Well done, Equifax. Or Equifax. Or.
Do you hear that Edward Snowden feller had an interview with Joe Rogan?
What?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, he went on Joe Rogan's podcast and did like a 4-hour marathon.
Are we using Joe Rogan now as like, one of our top interviewers here? Like, is he?
Well, he has the biggest podcast in the country, so I guess
he did help invent podcasting.
that's what they say. That's what the kids say. So Snowden says that he searched the CIA networks for proof that aliens exist when he was there, and here's what he found. All right, so if you're a chemtrail believer or a Area 51 stormer, how did that go, by the way? Are we done with the Area 51 deal? They're done.
Oh yeah. Did that come and go? Was there even a festival?
I think they had kind of a party, right?
I remember there was talk about there being a great big music festival out there, but
Area 51. Let's just check.
Let's see, September 22nd. Yeah, it's almost over a month old. Area 51 festival wraps up in Nevada. Earthlings head home.
All right, so they're done with that, as we knew they would.
Yeah. Looks like I wonder how many people they know. There's like a shot of a bunch of people Naruto running, but it's like 8 people Naruto running towards the gate.
I mean, there's 2 things going on. That part of Nevada is actually very cold this time of year. So
really?
Why would they be there? Yeah, I'd get out of there. You got to really bundle up. The wind's bad. It's cold. It's not like snow cold, but
They got about 3,000 people, it said. Campers said festival goers peaked at about 3,000 on Friday, said Eric Holt. The Lincoln County official who headed planning for a feared influx of at least 30,000.
Never happened, though.
No,
30.
But still, I mean, and then they did alien stock. But yeah, 3,000 people.
My favorite was a news when there would be a news reporter and somebody would Naruto run behind the reporter. That was amazing. And that happened multiple times. That was great.
That's the best.
Yeah, we gotta agree. Art Janier says, Icor says we got a great GIF out of it. It was all worth it for the GIF.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yes. Do it for the GIFs. That's
worth it.
Or GIFs if you prefer. I don't care.
That's right. GIFs or it didn't happen.
All right. It says here, as a former employee of the CIA and contractor for the National Security Agency, Snowden had access to some of the nation's most closely held secrets. And like any curious mind with access to CIA's version of Google might do, he went searching for answers about society's most pressing questions. For example, the government, according to him, is not aware of any intelligent extraterrestrial life at all. He says, for the record, as best I can tell, that's where the conspiracists will go, it's only the best he can tell. Aliens have never contacted Earth, or at least have never contacted U.S. intelligence, Snowden writes in his recent memoir, Permanent Record. Also, the moon landing did indeed occur, he says. In case you're wondering, yes, man really did land on the moon. Climate change is real. Chemtrails are not a thing, he says.
Okay.
Gosh, this is really hard-hitting stuff here. These are things I knew.
Yeah, it's like there's 10% of people out there going, what? And then there's 90% saying, well, yeah, okay, yeah,
yep.
Right, okay.
Exactly. He says...
Did he find out if dogs have brains? Because I really wanted to know.
He decided to abstain from that one because of your horrible sentence structure. So he said no. He's not going to do that.
Jeez, just getting a Kleenex, cat. I just grabbed a Kleenex and she freaked out like the bottom was dropping out of her. I wonder if somebody clipped that.
Your Firefly hooker's getting cranky.
She is.
Cranky old bat. Let's see. So he was on this Joe Rogan deal, and he said outright there is no evidence of aliens or chemtrails and the like. He says, I know, Joe. I know you want there to be aliens. I know Neil deGrasse Tyson wants badly to be aliens. And there probably are, right? Says Snowden, or says Rogan to him. Or no, I guess it's still him. He says, but the idea that we're hiding them, or that we are, that we're hiding him, or we are hiding them. I had a ridiculous amount of access to networks in the USA and the CIA, the military, all these groups. I could not find anything. If it's so hidden, and it could be hidden, it is hidden really damn well, even from people who are on the inside. Brian, does that belay your fears that aliens are among us and that they've been here the whole time, or
yes. I can now sleep with both eyes closed.
Good.
I can now sleep with 0 eyes open. Thank goodness for that.
Very good. It's perfect. All right. Aliens confirmed.
Yeah, I don't think that he exposed anything that rational human beings didn't already pretty much treat as fact.
Most of us. It's still a majority, even though they got people who have wackadoo ideas have much more voice than they used to. So it seems like it's growing. But I'm here to tell you, it's not really. They just have a microphone. That's how it works now. Back in the day, like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, you didn't have the microphone, so it was always some fringe thing you'd only hear on, some pirate radio thing or on some weird newsletter. You just didn't hear it in somebody's zine, But today,
that's right. Handed out on a street corner.
Today they have the same tools everybody else does. So they're on Twitter, they're on 4chan, they're on Reddit, they're on wherever, and they can bap, 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 bap.
Nice.
Anyway.
And then Edward Snowden flew home from the interview, went a little bit too far, and fell off the edge of the earth.
The end. Flat Earth confirmed. All right, here's an Australian story.
All right.
Australia, we love you. This is a mysterious Aussie hotel. It's a luxury hotel.
Okay.
Let's see. How does this work? Hold on.
I can't even understand this headline.
This headline makes no sense.
Mysterious Aussie luxury hotel in North Korea that Kim Jong-un just trashed.
Yeah. I don't know why that's a headline. Anyway, it was a luxury hotel of a kind the world had never seen before. 5-star, 4 seasons Barrier Reef Resort opened up on the coast of Townsville in 1988 as the world's first floating hotel.
Okay. All right. So there once was a cruise ship.
Yeah, basically it's a cruise ship, but it's a hotel. I mean, the idea is that it was supposed to be stationary. It wasn't supposed to float around. But anyway, it featured tennis courts, nightclubs, swimming pools, bars, restaurants, a helipad, almost 200 rooms across 7 stories. Is that how you spell stories when you're talking about buildings?
That is in Australia.
Weird.
That's how they spell stories.
How would they say it, though, Brian? How would they say it?
Stories.
We got them to do it, guys. We made it.
By the way, quick promo.
Yeah.
Later this week on Thursday, we're going to have Aussie Gidget Von LaRue on here to give us each an 80s, well, give us both, an 80s movie horror quiz.
Oh, I thought she was
Halloween.
doing a Mad Max Fury Road thing. Maybe
She's not. She has that in the can ready for us.
Okay.
But
she'll hold on to that.
yeah, exactly. But it's Halloween, so we need to do a horror movie quiz.
Very nice.
So it's the law. It's the law.
It is the law. Looking forward to it. Oh, Amy Frost will be here for a minute too, talking about her.
That's
project.
right. Talking about her new project too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be ANTP season 1 reunion week.
Yeah, much less sausage fest than usual on this show.
That's right. Oh, sorry, Alex Albisu. Oh, sorry, other people who are in season 1.
Oh, sorry, the good doctor and everybody else who didn't make it. Oh.
That's right. Sorry, Bridget and
Everyone.
Jerry Tolbert and Joe and
all of you.
and the rest.
And the rest. Oh, it's terrible. All right. So here's how this ended up. Through a bizarre set of events, the following decade saw the hotel relocate, of all places, North Korea, where it played an unlikely role in a brief truce between the North and South. But this week, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un demanded it be demolished, finally ending the Australian hotel's truly bizarre 30-year history. We didn't even know you, but we'll miss you.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un, what a ball.
Weird that he had that he could. Oh, I guess, okay, relocated North Korea, you said. So,
Yeah.
So once it was there, he said, get rid of it.
They must
It's
have
an eyesore.
sold
Who
it.
needs tennis courts on a boat?
They probably sold it to him, right? Years ago. I mean, we'd have to go look
Probably.
it up.
Yeah, probably.
But Australia made a little scratch on that deal.
Yes.
Our final story today. This is gross. A man saves his nail clippings for a year and turns them into an engagement ring. Oh, that's adorable. When it comes to engagement rings, we know rings. We look at those rings.
I give her an engagement ring.
She is now married to me and wears a ring every day.
Wears a ring every day.
The ring is always on finger.
Finger.
This is finger. This is how I know she loves me.
We don't replace K with G. What is the matter with you?
The British do sometimes. They'll say
Yes.
something. They'll say and things like that.
Well, yeah.
Instead of something. Anyway, we know not everyone will be able to afford a real diamond. That's nothing to be ashamed of. But instead of splashing for the cash, some couples decide to buy cheaper ones. My dad made, I've said it on the show before, he made one out of a 7-Up bottle, and he ground down some glass for the ring part, and then made a kind of a diamond-shaped thing out of some of the other colored glass of the bottle, and made my mom's ring out of an old bottle. But it worked just like a ring, and it's partly because he was cheap and broke at the time, but he also... it was kind of creative that way, so it's kind of a cool thing. It's an awesome, cool relic.
Super
now. The
cool.
family loves it. Everybody fights over who's going to keep it.
For my next wife, I'm totally going to be 3D printing a ring.
Did you hear that, Tina? Listening to the show up there? She's got a plan.
I got a plan.
Yeah.
Close your ears, Tina.
Get an air streamer or whatever they're called, streamliner thing, and hop in there.
Stream, and we're just going to hop in there, drive across the country, and
make fake rings. It's going to be great.
That's right.
Says here, this guy, let it be known that some people on social media have seen a whole new side of this. They draw the line at engagement rings made from man's fingernail clippings. Yes, it seems a man spent an entire year collecting his nail clippings to be turned into a diamond ring. The whole process was shared on Twitter in disturbing viral video. The South China Morning Post, the Chinese dude, or no, it's a Japanese guy, but they got posted in China. Japanese guy who creates videos on YouTube under the name Kiwami Japan. Collected his fingernail clippings for 365 days and filmed the process of them being turned into a piece of jewelry. Once he had collected the sufficient amount of clippings, the man started to put them into a blender. However, this did not give the desired consistency, so he then ground them into a very fine powder before mixing it with water in a pan, and then it goes on and on and on until he finally did it. Yeah, it's foul. It's foul. It's not right.
Yeah.
He should be arrested for something. I don't know.
Man, it's like I don't necessarily want to know more, but did the nail clippings make the ring itself, or did he make the gemstone out of... see, again, I don't want to know this.
You don't want to know that, do you? You don't want to know if it's the ring?
I don't... Stop asking questions if you don't want to know the answers, Brian.
No, I'm with you. I was trying to find some video. I'm sure it's out there, but what he probably did is figured out a way to compress that all into a diamond. But the thing I would ask is, why the fingernail? Why not something else? Like, why not a... I don't know.
I made you an Apple Watch band from my own human hair.
Oh, Mr. Tench, have I not told you how I made this
Hello,
thing?
Agent Ford. Hello, Agent Tench. Would you like to have a new Apple Watch band made from the human hair of my victims?
We laugh because it's old. He's old. Actually, I think he's dead.
We laugh because he can't do anything to us or where he's at.
It was a long time ago. What's his name again?
Ed Kemper. Ed Kemper.
Ed Kemper. I just want to see if he's still alive. I can't remember. The real Ed Kemper.
It's weird how they replaced all the photos of Ed Kemper on the internet with photos of that guy from from Mindhunter. It's just amazing how they just replaced him.
It's weird how it almost looks exactly the same. Oh, he's still here.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's 70 years old and living in the California Medical Facility.
Yep. What does that mean? I guess he's in for brain, or he's a patient for brain, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a patient for
brain. Patient for brain. He's a paranoid schizophrenic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. All right. Well, he should probably die soon. It's not a good guy. He's kind of a terrible human being. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All right.
God, do you wonder if there's anybody listening to us in jail?
Oh, if anyone does, they can send mail.
I would love to know if anyone listens to us from prison.
Yeah, has anybody done that?
Yeah.
And if they haven't, will they?
If anyone in our tadpool goes to prison, will you find out if there's other people in prison listening to us?
Yeah, I'd be really curious about that because they get access to certain things. I wonder if internet-based stuff though is off the record or not, or off the table.
Yeah, I don't know how they.
I don't know.
You know, we've seen phones get smuggled in the prison pocket.
Yeah, that's true.
It's happened.
All right, well, inmate 5945, enjoy the song Brian's about to play for you.
This one goes out to those of you at Singer Hill Maximum Security.
There you go.
All right. Here is our Indie in the Middle. It is an LA underground group known as the Growlers. Last Friday, they dropped their brand new. They dropped it. dropped it, Scott.
Whoa.
And then they picked it up and they held it up in the air, and then they dropped it again. Brand new album called Natural Affair. The singer Brooks Nielsen and the music director and guitarist Matt Taylor. They've got kind of a swampy DIY aesthetic with synths, kind of complemented by warm vocals and other acoustic instruments.
Nice.
It's really good. They're really, really good. The Growlers' brand new album, Natural Affair. This is the title track. Go check it out if you like it. Again, here are the Growlers.
All right. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Don't know if I really trust you. Don't know if there's really any difference between slingers and the pirates that killed my pa.
They'll just have to go somewhere else to find one.
My pa.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, this is the morning stream.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Continue down this road so that we can enjoy one another's company and talk to more people. Like Bill Duran.
Yes.
Yeah. He's coming in. Hold on. There we go. Adding him. Yeah, look at her. I just saw your post.
Oh, yes.
Just beautiful.
I know. That she's 65 years old in that photo.
Beautiful. Beautiful, yep. Beautiful lady.
Talking about Magna Lagdashu.
Magna Lagdashu. That's the name.
Yes.
Nailed it. All right,
yep.
Here's this.
But Bill just isn't thinking about danger.
Isn't he, though? It's Bill Duran, everybody, from punishprops.com over there at the Seattle surrounding area. And we're always happy to have him on. Hello, Bill. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Doing pretty good over here.
Oh, fantastic.
Got my cat buddy next to me, just hanging out.
Yeah.
Are you drinking a green opaque beverage this morning?
No, I've got a normal bacon, eggs, and potatoes breakfast this morning.
Ah, yum.
Yes. That sounds all right. I'm
glad I can keep you guys up to date.
I'm back full time on the intermittent fasting, so I cannot have awesome food like that in the morning until this is over. Anyway, what, Brian? Sorry, I cut you off.
I was going to ask you, are you doing Blizzcon this year? This was a regular thing for you guys too, where you debut some cool new costume there.
No, we're not going. We went to Scotland this year. That was kind of a big trip. So we called off BlizzCon, but I am sad because so many of my friends are going to be there from around the world, and I'm going to miss them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sad thing. It's like, I know, all right, Scott's not going, and a few other people kind of in our immediate vicinity aren't going. But then I hear about people who are, it's like, oh, man, you're still going? Dang it, that was my one time a year I'd get to see you guys. And
I'm going to miss seeing Blizzard people. I'm going to miss seeing...
I'm going to miss seeing Gary from Lot B.
Yeah,
that's
Gary
who I'm
from
gonna
Lot
miss.
B.
That's what I'm going to miss the most, Scarecrow.
Yeah. Going to miss seeing Garrett and Patrick and all those guys. But it is also kind of a weird year because all the people I usually see there are not going. Like, Brian's not there. Tom's not going. I'm not going. Bill's not going. John, Bo, all them not going. Like, it's weird. It's a weird year. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is none of anyone that I just mentioned's reasons have anything to do with the big dust up right now.
Mm-mm. Right.
No.
It's all to do. I mean, part of me is glad I don't have to deal with what is going to probably be a weird crowd issue, security thing, other stuff that's going to be a pain in my butt. But it's not because of any of those reasons. A lot of people just assumes it is, but I don't know. Weird year. Mm-hmm. I'm doing a BlizzCon coverage thing on Friday with a live watch of the
opening ceremonies.
I'm going to do that with John and Bo, and we'll do some good commentary, and so we'll try to have some fun with it. But
I will tune in for that because I'll be watching.
Yeah. And there was another huge leak, which I will not mention here because I don't want to spoil it for people avoiding leaks. But let's just say World of Warcraft had a giant leak yesterday, a gigantic leak. Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Humongous leak. If you follow such things, if you don't, then you're not going to care at all. But I'll tell you what I do care about. It's broadening our horizons when it comes to making cool stuff. And there's no one better for that than Bill Duran, who comes on Tuesdays and talks about those very things. So, Bill, what's going on this week?
Today, I want to talk about selling your work, how to sell your creative work.
Ooh,
the options that are available, which are plenty. So you're a maker, you make some sort of thing. Let's say you're Scott, you're a sculptor, you let's say you sculpt out of exotic animal poop. You're an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But only exotic.
Only exotic animal poop. That's your thing. But you're really good at it, and people have noticed online, and they say, Scott, I would like to buy some of your exotic animal poop sculptures.
Sure.
How do I buy them? So you've got some options, and since you're on the internet, there are tons of online options that are really great. The first one, and I think the best one, is that you have your own website, whatever, Scott's Dinosaur Poop Sculptures.com or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Your own website with your store on it, with everything you on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you own it, you can take care of it, and you get to say what happens on that website.
You're not beholden to Etsy or eBay stores, or makes sense. Facebook Marketplace.
Fecal. It's going to be fecaldino.com. That's what I'm going.
Yeah, there we go. Fecaldino.com. I like it.
Yep. Sounds good.
So the trouble here is you have to build the site yourself, although it has never been easier. I constantly say, if I can build a terrible website that works well enough, anyone can, because I'm bad at making websites.
Sure.
Visit squarespace.com.
Yes. Ours is was it WordPress? We use WordPress. I made it 10 years ago, and it barely works, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
The other challenge there is it is up to you to drive people to your website. There's no one who's going to be searching for it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to get the word out yourself. You mentioned Etsy, which is another really great option. And I do recommend, especially if you're just getting started, having your own website, but also having a presence on Etsy. See, the cool thing about Etsy or eBay or other places like that is people go there to look for stuff, even if they don't know who you are. So they may happen upon your stuff, which isn't going to happen unless you're an exotic animal poop aficionado. You're probably not going to be searching.
I mean,
for Scott's website.
There are the numerous conventions where Scott would be able to have a trade show booth. Yeah.
Sure. Hey, by the way, I want to throw out a name real fast while you're talking, and you can't see this, sadly, but the chat room can see it. Brian can see it. This is it looks like a fossilized cassette tape.
It does, yeah.
A fossil. I also have a PS1 or PS2 controller fossil over there. It's got a memory card and a PS2 controller embedded in rock like that. Anyway, It's this place called heartlessmachine.com, and everything Bill's describing is kind of this. By that I mean this is somebody making kind of a weird offshoot strange thing that you can kind of only get in one place, and I ran into it. I can't even remember how I found it, totally at random, but definitely go check these guys out, heartlessmachine.com, and look at their modern fossils. They have an iPod, a Game Boy.
That is so cool.
There's a brand new one he just did with AirPods that is brilliant. But the idea is
with the just regular AirPods, Scott, or the AirPods Pro?
Who knows? There's no hairdryer bulbous thing on the end of them, so probably not the Pro. It does say, so they give them names like Arasantis Carolantidenta or whatever, but they give these like the name scientists would give them as if we're 1,000 years in the future and we don't know what the crap this is. It's pretty great. Anyway, so an example as you move on. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, that is fantastic. So Etsy is a great place to find stuff like that. eBay, just a thing to remember, it's great for discovery, but it's also very competitive. There may be another exotic animal poop sculptor on Etsy that you're competing with. You don't know that until you go check that out. So it's worth doing some research, finding out ways to stand out from everyone else when you're doing eBay or Etsy.
Right.
And also remember that they take a cut of your sale too.
Oh, so, good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm not saying that's a bad thing. They got to make their money too.
They help promote you. I mean, there's know, good trade-off.
You just have to keep account for that when you're running your numbers and everything.
Right.
And then there's other places, for example, if you're into prop and costume making, like the Replica Prop Forum's Junkyard. There's a part of their forum just for buying and selling stuff. So if you have a fandom that you're into that has a forum or a Facebook group or something like that, check and see if they have a place where they trade or sell or share crafts of any kind.
Right.
The Junkyard on the RPF is the only example I could think of. And you do have to be a member of the RPF in good standing to participate in the Junkyard. So just know that if you're participating with private groups when it comes to buying and selling stuff, there may be rules. So it's worth checking into.
What kind of things would you have to do to violate those rules? Do you know? Like a good example of that?
So if you go on the forums and act like a turd all the time, then people will be like, that guy's a jerk. I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Or if you try and sell stuff or scam people on the junkyard, you can get in trouble. Basically, they want people just to have an account that's been there a long time and who isn't going to be a turd to people. Mm-hmm. That's really what it boils down to.
Sure. I could see that.
Don't be a turd.
Yeah.
Rule number
Don't
one.
be a turd.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good rule of thumb, generally speaking.
Yeah. And then of all the things I just listed, all of them are good. Do all of them, especially if you're just getting started. You don't know where your stuff's going to take off. Hopefully people will find your website, but that may not be the case. Your Etsy may blow up one day and then you're like, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when you're getting started, putting your stuff in as many places as possible where people can find it, it's always a good thing.
Nice.
And then in person, if you want to try and brave the crowds and sell your stuff to people in person, been a great time for that too. I've done a bunch of conventions where you got a booth like an Artist Alley and you try and sell your stuff. Scott, I remember you did Salt Lake Comic Con.
Yeah, I did a booth.
I was there one year.
Yeah, the Bill, his stink bag, and
that's right.
And my Johnson. We're all at the thing, and we did a table, and it's funny. That was an interesting experience because the table right next to us, we got to chatting with them, and I think she was an artist. Her husband just kind of helped with the table. I can't remember how that worked. Maybe they're both artists, but they were really curious because they were like, I don't really see these things doing tables. I said, oh, well, mostly my stuff's online. And they were having a hard time doing anything online. So they were all tables all the time. That was the gig. And they were really struggling to break into that side of it. And I thought that was interesting because, we started talking shop and I'm like, well, how many prints do you move per show? And they would say that. And then they'd say, how much are you moving online? I'd say that. And they were just shocked. They were shocked you could sell that kind of stuff on the internet. And so even those who are like, all in the world out there, like in it to win it, this is still a bit of a barrier, at least mentally. So this is good stuff to hopefully help them on their way.
And I recommend if you're mostly an online person, giving the in-person thing a shot. You may take to it. Like I very much enjoy being a barker, being a salesman, really, roping people in, trying to hawk my wares. I enjoy that. Other people don't. But also it gives you an opportunity to meet your customers face to face.
Yeah.
You cannot replicate that experience online at all.
Right.
So that I find the customers, the people I meet in person, the people I sell stuff to in person, are much more likely to follow through online or be a repeat customer online later on. So highly recommend giving the old in-person thing a try. Conventions are really awesome, but also just local craft fairs. They happen all the time if you live anywhere near a decently sized city. A lot of times Artist Alley and craft fairs are juried if they are frequently full, so you may have to get in early. You may have to submit your work to see if they'll even give you a spot, so just keep in mind for that. I would say that juried shows are probably better. It's harder to get into them, but it means they're popular for a reason, usually because a lot of people go buy stuff.
Interesting.
So yeah, that's definitely worth a shot. I've done a little bit of all of these things. And I recommend everyone try all of them if you're trying to hawk your wares. Mostly just because you may find a thing that you really love doing. You may not know that you love trying to sell your stuff to people in person.
Yeah, that's true. And like you said, I don't. It's almost like it doesn't matter where you're from. There is something of some level you could go to and get involved with. There's like a thriving Salt Lake City sort of craft fair scene here. So locals here do really well there. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Heather Mahler before, but she's this amazing local artist, and they've hired her. The city's hired her to do stuff like on track stations and all this kind of thing. Anyway, that's how she does it. She goes to these things. She hobnobs there. And Brian, you know her because she's Eric Mahler's sister. You know Eric from comes to all the shows and stuff. Comes to Nerdtacular all the time.
Yeah,
cute kids, all that.
Didn't recognize the name until.
He's a great artist himself, but she's really killing it. And and it's all because she's kind of got local legend status, which is pretty rad. So I like it. That's good suggestions. Anything else going on there? Oh, you usually give us a little bonus thing or something. You got a little something?
I got a fantastic recommendation for you. If you go on YouTube and look up My Mechanics, he is a tool restoration channel. Doesn't talk at all. Very sort of slow. These are the videos I watch late at night when I'm getting ready for bed.
Hubba.
Yeah, so he'll take a really old rusty tool. This one, the video is a block plane from like the turn of the century.
Yeah,
the last one, not
old.
the most recent one.
Yeah, it looks like something like 1888 or something.
Yeah, and he strips everything down and restores it until it's perfect. It is so satisfying.
Wow. I mean, would you be, if you were, I mean, this is probably a dumb thing, but if I was him, I would be really torn because having it in its rusty form is kind of rad in its own right to, have that kind of displayed as this ancient thing. But I mean, obviously,
because how cool is that thing? Like looking at it, it's like super
rad.
cool looking.
Yeah,
it is. I will say that since he filmed the entire process, now you've got this really cool documentation, or let's say documentary on the life of this tool, and it preserves the previous state, right, the before image, and then you get to enjoy it in the after as well.
That's true.
So it's kind of cool that since he documented it, you get the best of both worlds.
That's crazy. That's what that would have looked like then. Oh wow.
Right. I think he restored it a lot nicer than it would have been off the shelf in 1893.
Exactly. I mean, he's using like metal that probably wouldn't have been available in that form back then.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't assume anything because I jumped from the very beginning to the very end. But did he make new metal parts for it? Things that just
I believe there were a couple of parts that needed to be remade. But they probably didn't have a 2-component primer back then. They probably didn't have a buffing wheel quite like he had, because he gets everything to a mirror finish.
Yeah.
Wow.
So good.
This dude is into it. All right, that's awesome. Big channel too. He seems to be doing just fine.
Oh yeah.
My Mechanics, it's called. Not Mike and the Mechanics. Don't get them confused.
These are not the living years you're looking for.
No, they're not. Bill Duran is the guy we're looking for, though. And if you want to find him, it's easy. Chinbeard on Twitter. PunishProps.com is the website. His YouTube channel is Punish Props. Bill, have a fantastic week.
See you later.
See you next time.
Very cool.
Bye now. All right. That is pretty rad.
Yeah.
It makes me realize I don't have patience for things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a different focus, I mean, he probably looks and says, wow, I don't know how this person puts together so many shows and does so much art in all that time. And,
I guess that's it, because it's like the way you are with music, the way you curate it, I can't even imagine it. Like I look at that and I look at the size of your library and I look at your music knowledge and just the history of music that you know. And I have the same reaction of like, I couldn't do that. I can't freaking do that. And you're right. It's the same thing. Everybody's got their thing. Find your thing, everybody. Dig deep in your place and find your thing. All right.
That's right. And then devote a lot of time to it so other people can look at it and say, wow, that's impressive.
Yes, that's what we want. So people talk about it on a podcast. That's our goal. All right. We're going to get, you may be familiar with his work, Justin Robert Young in here.
Oh, that guy. I've heard of that guy.
Yep. And now you'll hear more of him.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
The jury will now retire.
No, you don't leave yet. I wasn't supposed to play it.
No.
Hey, everybody, check it out. It's Justin Robert Young on the line. Hi, Justin. Good morning.
Hi, friends. How are you?
Good. We're all right.
Good.
Stuff going on. It's always a little sad the day after we have to let somebody go on ANTP, but I get over it. It takes me a couple days.
Yeah.
I don't love it. I don't love
we
that.
have to do that every week, though.
I know.
But the further we get into the season, the more we grow attached to these people. And,
it's hard for me. Bungs me out. Or bums me, not bung. Sorry, I said it bungs me out.
Did you say bungs you out?
I don't know even what that means. Bungs me out? What would that even mean?
Bungs me out. My bung is out.
Sorry.
I mean, like a...
No.
You want to know what? Let's just leave it there.
We'll leave it there where it lies. Okay, great. Justin comes on Tuesdays.
I mean, just sorry to go to next top real quick. I have kind of like gone the other way where I kind of feel like there's just no point to any of us doing any of it unless we're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, and you guys will hear everything that happens, but like, there's been time for some honesty lately.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I would love it if there were a lot more nitpicking and a lot less honesty.
Should be a friendlier thing, but
yeah, I would trust me. That's my number one thing I would like to do is just like a few notes. I would love it if everything would just be a few notes. But it has to be harsh sometimes, or else what's everybody? I don't want to disrespect the people that have put in a ton of time and effort in either this season, last season, or future seasons.
Or the entire process deserves honesty, and it gets it, and it's great. And especially lately, it's been like raw, but it just leaves me spent. That's all. Like the next day, I'm just like a little melancholy, just because. And I know it's not that big a deal because then we're on to the next one, and yay, here comes some more cool content. And someone else has got to go home. We got to do it all over again. But it's just a weird cycle for me.
I do also just think that we are in. You want to know what? I totally lost my train of thought. So if I were being judged on the show, then you should criticize.
We're in week 7. Is that what you say? Or we're in?
No. I mean, not
America?
About where we are. No. I think just in the phase we are in the competition. It is now the time. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. A lot of the things that I think happen with these are kind of behind the scenes and there's decisions that we don't even know about as judges.
Right.
And that's the one thing that does bum me out is that there have been times, sometimes explicitly, where people that have gone home were like, "Yeah, would have been great if people would have listened to me."
Yeah, right.
A couple of those.
And that knowing that if that is peeking up out of the water a little bit, then there's no doubt that it is more pervasive.
I'll be honest that I think it was primarily one person.
We don't need to go. I'm not trying to get into. Wait, why are you spoiling your own show? I'm supposed to be the one that's holding. You're the one. Why are you doing it? No, you shouldn't spoil your own show.
You goaded me into it. You pulled me.
No, I was not. I was saying in general. I'm saying in general. In general, collaboration is hard. Collaboration under pressure is even harder. And collaboration under pressure where one of 3 judges are going to yell at you is even harder than that. So
or two of 3 judges, as the case has been in a couple
exactly lately
episodes.
That's that. It's I think that breeds decisions that either explicitly or implicitly lead to people saying, "Man, if only I would have said, if only I would have done." And that's the thing that bums me out because that's something where it's below the surface, and there's nothing that I can say about it. And we're not the kind of show where as judges, we're there to like probe into like, for real, whose idea was this? Like, don't lie, don't protect. Either you're going home or they're going home.
Right.
Like,
Somebody better step forward for this one. Yeah.
We're not that kind of show. And so that's something that I don't know. If I want to think that weighs on me. That's it.
For season 3, and don't worry, season 3 is not right around the corner. But for season 3, I'm definitely going to be looking to the judges, kind of like I did with Tom currently for one of our challenges, to kind of have you guys help pick some really cool challenges. Because listen, Comedy Week is always going to be a bear, no matter what we do for it. But I do want to get some ideas for things that you're like, it'd be really cool, Brian, is if we did a challenge focused around this kind of show or this kind of challenge that maybe isn't necessarily a show, but is a skill that needs to be learned in the field of podcasting.
Sure.
So
why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Well, let's talk about impeachment then instead.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So last time we talked, it seemed like things were going a little cold. And I agree with you. It seemed like they were just like, all right, well, what are we doing now? And then a lot of weird stuff happened since then that we don't have to even get into that have nothing to do with it. But apparently the official vote to impeach, which I guess they don't legally even need, but that's happening. So let's go a little politics here. What does that mean? How does that mean things are moving faster than we thought? Like, I don't even know how to gauge it.
So the answer is yes. This process has always been moving faster, at least according to internal reporting on what the Democrats wanted to do. They want this thing to be wrapped up by the end of the year. and there I think are only 19 sessions between now and then of the House of Representatives. So that means that they're going to have to move pretty fast. I was critical of the House Democrats for not putting this public, sooner than later, and not because I think that they necessarily had to, but I do think it's because they should have. This, impeachment is a public process, and it is one that is guided with politics and popularity. And so if you have people that are out there that you believe are helping your cause, then you want them to be in front of the public so they can see you. And if if we're going by effectively now, things that are being repeated or disseminated from private hearings into the press and public eye. Right. I don't think that engenders support inherently, and beyond that, I think it leaves yourself open to the flank that the Republicans attack them on, which is this is secret, this is a kangaroo court, this is bleep blah blue, right? So here's what's happening.
Because politically speaking, just real quick, if there a lot of hoo-ha has been made about the idea that the Republicans actually approved, and signed these rules when Boehner was in. What was his name? John Boehner.
John Boehner.
It looked like Boner. Anyway,
it's spelled Boner, and let's be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he's a weed man now.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is he a weed
really?
man?
He's in the weed business.
He's on the big 420.
Sweet. The Fortune 420. That's awesome.
Fortune.
If they don't do a Fortune 420, Fortune's doing it wrong.
Oh,
anyway.
God, you'd think that would be like one of the local magazines here has to be doing a Fortune 420.
Yeah, you got to use that term. Get on it, somebody. But anyway.
They only get through 7 and they forget what they were working on.
So nice. So a lot of hoo-ha has been made about that, but I understand the political tool that it is to say, even though I think they all know better, to say, you're doing this behind closed doors. This is a secret thing. This is not fair. And even though the inquiry part of this is not the trial part of this, and the trial part of this is when you get to have all of your face your accuser stuff and all that other crap that they keep complaining about. I understand the political tool it is to ignore all that and just say, hey, why all the secrecy? So I'm with you. Like, just don't have anything be secret. Just come out and do it. Like, why not just do it? You're gonna do it.
And that's what they're doing now. So Thursday they are going to vote on impeachment. This does two things, and this is part of the reason why the Democrats wanted to avoid it, is they wanted to go as long as possible and build up as much pressure on impeachment before they made people go on the record to vote.
Okay.
Because voting on impeachment means that you have to be on the record saying, I'm for at least this stage of impeachment. And that is something that they did not want to have to do until they had assurances and, again, appropriate amount of public pressure on the process. So they feel like they are there now, and that is what's going to happen Thursday.
Interesting. And then does that mean from then on all hearings / depositions are C-SPAN?
I don't know if it's all. I do know that there will be televised hearings going forward. So effectively, this past now, congratulations, from now until New Year's Eve, this will be the only thing that anybody is going to talk about, and then we'll see whether or not the Senate votes on this before or after the winter recess.
Right. Because that's it. Like, there's no, if they were going to push for a vote by then, there's no do-overs. Like, this is just it. You're either doing it or then there's the election and we see if he stays in as an elected official or not. Like, that's how this process works.
Yeah, although I know politically those things are connected. It is kind of weird to me that we do connect them, now, though. Because, impeachment should be disconnected from the vote, right?
Right.
Like it should be like, all right, if we're dealing with high crimes and misdemeanors, we're talking about removing a president, and it's never happened, right? Like, we have never impeached and removed a president. Sure, Nixon likely would have faced that fate, and he left. We've had a few that have been impeached but not removed. But it's like, this is kind of stuff that, like, this is break glass in case of emergency. Not like, we'll see if we get him here, and then if not, we'll get him in November, right? Like that to me, I just and beyond. This is a meta thing. That if there's one thing, I am very much a live in the moment. The chaos is part of the process. We've gone through more turbulent times kind of guy. But if I were to indulge the fear mongering, the thing that does worry me on a meta level is that these impeachment things are kind of getting historically like closer together, from like Nixon to Clinton and then Clinton to Trump. It's like, I really don't want to live in a world where every president
faces impeachment because somebody disagrees.
Yeah. I mean,
No, I bet we're definitely getting to a stage where every single presidential election is going to be reviewed and overanalyzed like it's within the last 2 minutes of a football game, and every play has to get checked in the booth.
Well, that's part of it, right? That's part of it. Like what you're describing is the reason that and the thing I said earlier today about everyone has a microphone now. Everything just is going to get analyzed to death. Yeah, like and that's fine, but that analysis leads
slow down the process. We're already spending half of somebody's campaign working on their next election, or not campaign, spending half of everyone's tenure in office working on their next election. And if we need to get to a place where
they always do that,
work
though,
for the
right?
full 4 years, huh?
Isn't that always the truth?
They totally do that.
Don't they? Like the minute they get in and then they just start running again.
It seems like longer and longer.
Like we are in a process that is going to be voted on by the House of Representatives. They serve 2-year terms. So if now, running for your office takes anywhere between 6 to 8 months, then how much time, if you are a freshman, you're in for what, a year maybe, where you're really focused on doing what you're doing, and then you better hope that you have your bases covered when you run for re-election again.
Yeah. I mean, when all this stuff was framed, I wonder if the idea would be, well, they only need a couple of weeks to go out and stump. Like, I don't know how it went in the early days. Like, did John Adams run around for 8 months campaigning?
No. And in fact, it was kind of like verboten to campaign for president. You wanted to be the statesman, up until really, past the 1900s.
Get reelected based on your achievements, not based on making sure that you've been in everybody's face for the past 12 months.
Yeah.
But now also it's like the House of Representatives has become, over the last few decades, a much more famous sort of place. Like in a world of soundbite culture, House members are more likely to be the ones to say the thing. And so therefore they develop followings for being the ones to say the thing. And that's why you've seen you've seen the Tea Party exploded in the House. The progressive socialist Democrats and like the Squad blew up in the House. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think it is a breeding ground for movements, and there's a certain element of fame that can gather there.
Yeah, I think that's true. Do you think we ever get to the place where we're like the British with their parliament? We just sit around yelling at each other in there in that chamber? That'd be cool.
I mean, God, no, jeez. I mean, like, as much as I love watching them go crazy with each other. But if you look at how long it's taken them to do this Brexit thing, holy crap, it's insane. I've been trying to follow it a little bit more because it seems like they're close to something, but I'm starting to lose faith that they're ever going to. And I don't think that they're going to stay either. I think that they're going to be perpetually in where we're 9/10 of the way out of the European Union until the day I die.
Nice.
And I know we just actually there was a deadline this month, right? Like within the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, if you want a good follow-up, although now it's a week out of date, you can listen to the last episode of Politics, where Tom Merritt and I broke down everything that's happened. But even then, that's now out of date because it is a daily churn of
I don't think I want to bring that here.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a wild situation, man. Like, they've had 4 years to figure this out, and they have not in any way been able to get something done.
I don't think they're going.
Yes, that's right. October 31st was supposed to be some deadline, and that got...
No, it was the spooky Halloween deadline, and then... Oh, Jesus. All right, so here we go.
No, maybe I should. Let's talk about poop or something. Or
I can do it quick. All right.
So, what do you think's going to happen with Hearthstone this weekend?
All right. Go, make it quick.
I don't know. Maybe they'll free Hong Kong.
Maybe. Finally,
all right, so here, very, very quick. Yeah. The EU had given England a deadline or the UK a deadline, a deadline of October 31st to get a deal passed through Parliament. This had been very, very hard to do. So Boris Johnson, who's their new prime minister, he's a hardcore Brexit guy and said he would rather be dead in a ditch than see the United Kingdom and the European Union past Halloween. Goes to Brussels, gets a deal, and then gets it passed through Parliament. But then, because Europe and the UK are both made of an untangleable mess of rules, that was then stalled because the Parliament voted or could not vote on the schedule by which they would consider and apply it or vote on all the little laws within it.
Yeah.
So that stalled that, which meant that it was likely going to have to go until past October 31st. Boris Johnson wanted to call for an election. That was voted down, and so now we are back into square. Who knows?
So is he gonna just voluntarily jump in that ditch then if Halloween comes and goes, and he's willing to just go ahead and off himself?
That he's gonna. Well, no, so he was compelled by law to send a letter to the European Union to ask for a delay. So to compel with the law, or to comply with the law, he sends the letter but doesn't sign it, and then sends another letter that effectively says, "Psych, don't do this for us."
Wow.
All right, those guys.
But really, the big thing is that everybody is dancing around the idea that at some point somebody could pull the cord and they could no deal Brexit, and that is that there is no deal, or that England or the UK would have to pass that. I know I'm just gonna get
people hate that for some reason. I know
they hate it. Whatever. Okay, I'm sorry. They're interchangeable in my mind.
Same.
It's Wales juice.
I know. Actually, Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland and the other one. And,
all of them.
But yeah, so yeah, that's what it is. He basically said, or the no deal Brexit would mean that they would have to either the UK would have to rush and apply these laws before all of society fell apart, or they would, it would just be a total mess. And so nobody wants it. Everybody wants to avoid it. But what Boris Johnson is leveraging is the idea that he will push them to the cliff unless things get solved. And to his credit, him, swearing that he will drive this car off the cliff did get them to at least vote, get a deal from the EU that was passable in Parliament.
Huh. Well, 28 days was later. The zombie apocalypse starts in England. Sorry, the UK, not England. I apologize. It's like when we call ourselves America, people know we're not talking about freaking Canada and a bunch of middle
there's a lot of stuff in North America, Scott.
Central America and South America.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it for them because they've all been killing each other for 4,000 years for dragons and stuff.
That's true. They got the dragons. We don't have those yet.
People were fighting about. People were fighting about this when some dude was playing a lute and throwing a rune.
Throwing a rune. Oh my gosh!
When they were just cobbling things.
Sure, everything was cobbled
together.
then. All cobbled. Yeah. Cobbles. And,
there was a bard. And he's lightly strumming a.
No, it'd give you inspiration.
Harp.
Yeah. Give you better rolls. That's how it worked. Actually, before we let you go, do you have actually any prediction about BlizzCon in terms of its political heat, or do you think it's just going to kind of go and be done? And
I would ask you what this would be, because I would suspect that there will be protests.
Yeah.
I will suspect that I think both Blizzard's greatest gift and greatest problem in this particular scenario is that, as far as PR and really just their entire company's communication strategy, it's very defensive and it's very, we will reveal what we are going to reveal to you guys absolutely when we are sure of what we want to say.
Yep.
And I think that really hurt them in this scenario, where like one or two of the right were looking into it. Please, give us time to figure this out. Words early on could have saved them a lot of headache.
Yeah.
But I would ask you, how do you think they're going to handle protests at BlizzCon? Are they going to kick people out? Are they going to make people turn shirts inside out? What's the deal?
I think they're going to. So here's what I think they're going to do. I think it's going to be a bit of a security nightmare, and it's going to be slow and kind of a problem, especially the morning of the opening ceremonies, because I do think there's going to be people there, and they're by law allowed to protest around that convention center. There's already protests every year, but it's usually like these God hates Diablo.
The end is near.
Yeah, the end is near things. So I think that's going to be true. To the question of whether they say anything or make any hint about it on stage, honestly, I really don't know, but I don't think so, because of the thing you just said, and I agree with, which is they are very careful about what they say, both in the good and the bad. They just are very, very careful. So I think part of me thinks there's no way they say anything, but it's possible J. Allen Brack is compelled to say something. I don't know. So then I think, moreover, throughout the panels and things, there are going to be some people who lie about their question for a Q&A thing, and they're going to get up to the mic and they're going to say something totally different, and it'll be about this thing. They're going to call out Blizzard, and it's just going to be the way it is. Last year that happened with the Diablo thing about Immortal, and that's just a gamer problem, not an international political incident. So I think the event will come and go, and there will be definitely highlights for people who are fans of what they want to present. I think the opening ceremony is going to be full of cool stuff we're all going to be interested in as the gamers that we are. But I think there's always going to be an elephant in the room feeling is someone going to say something? Is someone going to say something? Did that guy in the audience just yell a thing? Did security just cart 4 people out of here? Did someone see that? Like, there's going to be that stuff.
Scrutiny of people looking to see what the presence is.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like it's just.
I wonder, and this is partly, and I've only been to BlizzCon once, so this is a noob's view, but the programming at BlizzCon, aside from the competitions, is by and large, it's very managed.
Yep.
And you wind up getting all the news that is spilled out of it fairly quickly afterward.
That is correct.
So if you are there and you love Blizzard and you love the Blizzard community, but you are also really cheesed off about everything that's happened, then I think the calculus for you of like, all right, do I stand up, yell and scream, be part of a protest and get kicked out, and then maybe even, be on a blacklist for future BlizzCons? Maybe that's worth it. Maybe it's worth it that for the rest of my BlizzCon experience, I'm just hanging out at the hotels that are 5 feet away from the convention center and still hanging out with all my friends. I just don't see the super managed press release performance that happens on stage.
Yeah, somebody somewhere, I hate saying this because I don't actually know this for sure, but I have to believe that size of a crowd, somebody somewhere is happily spending $300 for a ticket, bunch of money for a hotel, bunch of money to stay there and eat and everything else, who is willing to throw that all away to get his statement out. I'm pretty sure someone like that exists. Now, whether they get to the mic or not, whether they chicken out last second, that's all possible. Maybe it's super controlled and none of that'll even be possible. The Q&A that I hosted last year were screen questions, but they always are. They have been since like 2011. And we handpick them, and then we have the people who ask them, if they're physically there, to come be part of the line, and then they ask their question. Any one of them could have said, yeah, hi, my name is so-and-so, and free Hong Kong, do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And there really isn't a lot you could do about it. So I don't actually know if there's rumors and talk that some of the Q&As, maybe not all, but some of them may be just Blizzard people and or hosts saying, all right, we got a question.
We've got the following questions from the community.
And just reading the list of questions.
Right. And if I were them, by that I don't mean I would do it if I were them, but if I were Blizzard and I know enough about how they do things, I think that they probably will end up doing a lot of that to avoid that sort of thing. So maybe it'll go off without a hitch. Maybe it'll just be, I don't know. It will be impossible though to ignore, and that's the part that's got me super curious about how it just feels and how everybody's talking, and like the live stream folks, how are they going to be when they've got J. Allen Brack sitting there? Are they even going to come close to asking a question about the controversy? Probably not. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Where do you think the community is now post all this? Because I do think we are on the other side of at least the peak of the fury. If BlizzCon had happened before this happened, I think we would probably be close to the end of it. Whatever is going to get extended will happen at BlizzCon. But where do you sense the Blizzard community is after such a divisive incident?
So I think that's a good observation, and I think the fire has calmed a little. Anecdotally, I get emails saying, yeah, we get it. It's a controversy. Quit talking about it, kind of stuff. And we've
Talk about the game.
Yeah, and it's only been a thing for a week and a half or something. So gamers, maybe not gamers, but modern internet culture, our attention span is not what it used to be. So I think there are people who are tiring of it that just want to kind of move on. That's definitely a thing. But I also see, maybe it's also anecdotal, but you see a lot of stuff on Reddit and other places where people are organizing and saying, all right, 2 days, guys, we're going to do this and this and this. Where are we all meeting? Who needs signs? Blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a lot of that talk still. So,
we're going to get the big Kotaku article.
Yeah.
Of like, meet the face of BlizzCon's Hong Kong resistance. Like that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, that's a given. There will be some press like that, but you're right. Like, had BlizzCon been last weekend, it would have been worse for them. Had it happened the week that the mess happened, it would have been even worse for them.
Yeah.
So as time passes,
but also if it had happened the week before, we would be done with it.
We'd be done with it. You're absolutely right. We would be. And there may be a lot of we're done with it after this, because I do think that Blizzard can gain some good faith with showing their good work, showing that, hey, some of these decisions that are made at the top you may disagree with have nothing to do with devs or the people working on the ground, just trying to do a good job and make cool things for you to then buy. And that may soothe some or a lot of people. What also may happen is Blizzard may figure out a way to address it in a way that is more honest and forward-facing, and I just don't see how they do it. But if they did, that could
would, if they do, and we have no idea what's going to happen, because Scott is taking a very political stance by boycotting BlizzCon. But if they do, that would be out of character for them to just say, like, all right, let's show our whole ass and talk about this and do some bloodletting, so people can just move on, right? That would not be consistent with how they've handled messaging in the past, right?
No, it wouldn't be. That would not be consistent with the way they usually do things. However, given what this is, and especially the backlash after his statement, the J. Allen Brack statement, which was not received well, maybe they'll second think that and think we need to we need to, like you said, show our whole ass, because that's kind of where they're at. That honestly, there's only two ways to do it. It's ignore it entirely and pretend it isn't happening and have your con, or it's talk about it in an honest and front-facing way. Anything else will be perceived as not enough.
But by the way, this is also, like, we're thinking of it in a very American perspective, but I would take a wild guess and say that the most that mainland Chinese players of Blizzard games ever get close to, the product themselves and the creators of it are probably at BlizzCon. Like, you are not just speaking to our particularly at the moment radicalized section of American internet humanity. You're going to be talking to a lot of people that view these situations in different ways. So to me, I think that they screwed up by not being a little bit more wait and see early. Like, because the fact that everything built up and it just became like, why are you, Blizzard game company, personally subjugating Hong Kong and is Taiwan next?
Yeah.
Like, that's a hard position for that company to be in when they don't talk so much.
Yeah. That's honestly it. The culture is not to talk very much, and this requires talk, and they're not talking. So silence is like, not to coin the phrase I hate when people use it. Your silence on this issue is deafening.
It's deafening, yeah.
Freaking hate that saying. But
the fact that you're not talking speaks volumes.
Yeah, it speaks volumes. It's like, quit reading into it. But in Blizzard's case, they were quiet, and then they did a thing late on a Friday night out of the normal news cycle, and to everyone else it just looks like, oh, look what they're doing. They're hiding this and that. And to me, I'm going, this is just kind of Blizzard, and they don't know how to do this. Like, this works for them for other stuff. This is a benefit for them to shut up and keep it quiet. In previous years, when there were 0 leaks about Overwatch, by the way, none. Nobody had any idea Overwatch was coming. Now, this week's not a good example. There's leaks about everything this week, but part of it could be due to this and people.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they have a workforce that doesn't totally agree with decisions that they've made that now are a little less likely to toe the line.
Weird, right? Weird. Anyway, well, it'll be interesting. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm gonna do some live coverage on Friday, and we'll see how those.
And you're not. I'm joking. For those of you who don't know, you are not making a political statement by not going to Blizzcon.
Heck no.
Yeah, we talked about that before we brought you on.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Actually, multiple times I've had to make it clear. The decision was about a month ago. I mean, had Blizzard, if they'd have called me last week and said, "Oh, we need something for a stage thing," I'd have said, "Oh, okay, we'll still be there then." That wouldn't have been a problem.
$5,000, and I'll be there.
I kind of wish I would have said a month ago why I wasn't going, or that I wasn't going, so that people, because there have been plenty of assumptions that I'm boycotting, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm also mad at Blizzard, but it's not the.
So you are also mad at Blizzard, and you made a public statement that you weren't going after the controversy, and it's not a boycott.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, see this is the problem with our modern discourse. It's impossible for me to get around this. I am outraged. Anyway, this is all good and well. You got anything else going on this week that people should be checking out?
No. I mean, politics has been good lately. So if you like that, then go ahead and take a listen. We're gonna be breaking down all the impeachment stuff and doing a little impeachment rewind.
Ooh.
We're gonna go back in time to the 90s. Get your shoulder pads and your corded phones, because we're talking impeachment.
Sweet. Blowjobs and mailboxes. I don't know what that is.
Wow. Straight up blowies, baby.
Blowies.
That's what we're talking about.
Stained blue dresses.
There you go. Sure. Justin Robert Young on Twitter. Justin R. Young. We'll see you later. Have fun. Bye. All right. Jeez Louise.
That's why Mateo can't listen to the show.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Nicole. Shoot. Never heard of it as a blowy before. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it did. Well, whatever. Politics. I should. Politics are hard. Turns out it's complicated and lame.
Yeah.
And not a political science. Okay. Degree holder. I meant to finish my sentence. All right.
It's not political science. It's rocket science.
It's rocket science. There you go. Nailed it. All right. We actually have a bonus mashup. I was just informed that we have this.
Bonus.
Jamie says.
Is it Jamie just puking into a bucket for 8 minutes?
Well, he says he thought he was under the spell, but thinks it was psychosomatic and that he's actually okay, and only his wife got hit. So
that was nice of him to get sympathy nausea.
Sure, sympathy nausea, sympathy barfs. But I think because he's kind of in charge of the household and stuff while she's down, he thought, hey, I got a minute here. I'm just going to make another mashup. So he did. It's called the TMS. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so it's 8 minutes of his wife puking in a bucket.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, good.
In a bucket,
right.
in a loud bucket is the plan.
Loud, echoey bucket. All right, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
He says, he calls this the TMS sing-along, Still Rock and Roll to Me, a midweek bonus mashup. Well, I guess it's only Tuesday. It's not even midweek, but whatever. Here it is. Let's play it.
He came from somewhere back in a long ago. To recreate what had yet to be created.
Look at that. That's Iron Man.
I am Monkey King.
Walking around his mansion. I got money.
Not like you. Steals Nash.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine. You're the air in my mind.
Summertime playing the video games. Go outside the way I'm staying inside.
Don't let nobody pick your bum.
Shake it up. Bats in the kitchen. And what you
are
gonna
you gonna do?
Yeah.
There's a bat in the kitchen. What are you gonna do?
Go spill it in the river.
Go spill it in the river.
Over the mountain, through the thing.
You say Grenada, and I say Grenada, Grenada, Grenada. Let's call the whole thing off. There goes Ethel just as fast as she can, drinking wine from a potato chip can, driving around the Walmart lot. The rascal that she just bought.
Yeah.
I left my turd in San Francisco.
You may not know
Three
where.
turds in the fountain. You wave, dance, craze. Anyways, it's still rock and roll to me.
me.
What's the tell that your tie's too wide. Even said the white wall tires. Are you gonna cruise the miracle mile? Where you been hiding out lately, honey? You can't just flash to spend a lot of money. Everybody's talking about the new sound, funny, but it's still rock and roll to me.
Oh my gosh, that was intense. Oh my heck, dude. That turned out really funny.
That is really funny. I love the fact that when you hear them all back to back like that, it just sounds like we are the most ADHD, like new song pops into our head and we just start singing it ever.
I know. And it's funny because it's always about, the context is always like one of the stories we're covering or something. So it's like, Still Rock and Roll to me it was something else. It was like the story about I don't know, some guy turned over a truck in freaking Florida and now we're singing a song. It's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing.
Totally. And it's just like, boy, it's also making me realize that if I devoted the kind of brain power to other things in my life, like I do song lyrics, I'd probably be a lot more successful.
Yeah, I think what you could do. I always tell that to Kim. I think I know too many things about movies and actors and TV and like celebrity crap. Think what I could use that brain power for, or at least that storage for, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
we're wasting it on Commander data storage.
Yeah.
We need to be using it for good.
You want to know why I get a tiger confused with a cheetah? That's why. That little synapse went over there to worry about Clarice, Vernessa, whatever her name is, Chloe.
Amortized
Fornox or whatever her name is. Anyway, that's it for the show. We're going to get out of here. Oh, I am going to read a quick email. I forgot about this. Michael in Colorado Springs. He's near you.
Yeah, he is.
Says, Dear Sound and Board. That's pretty good. This question is for Brian. Brian, is Scott getting used to the new soundboard really any different than his operation of the old soundboard during the many past years? That's why we love him and love the show, though. Joe Uncool in the Tadpole, also Michael in Colorado Springs. So, Brian, answer that question. Am I any better at it now?
It is different, Michael, and I'm glad you asked this because the big difference is now Scott says, oh, hold on, new soundboard. Instead of the previous thing, which is, oh, hold on, let me see if I can find this.
Yeah,
nope,
you're right.
Nope, that's not it.
Point taken. You're absolutely right. There's always going to be glitches. But this, it was extra glitchy because I changed. I switched. That's so right. It's just
all
hard.
Right, come on, fish sandwich right now. Pull up fish sandwich.
Ready? Here comes fish sandwich.
All right.
Here you go.
Hey, it's too hard to get a fish sandwich.
Got it. Give me another one.
Very good.
Give me another one.
Oh, all right. Let's do. I know there was one that we looked for yesterday that we couldn't find, so we're gonna skip that one. Let's do Slurp My Butt.
Oh, I have it. Oh shit.
There we go. Now I was right with the world.
Wait, I thought I put it out here.
What's your profanity?
Nope.
Diabetes.
Nope.
I have the chaff.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, I can't find it.
See, that's what I like. I'd much rather have you do the play 4 of them followed by, nope, that's not it. Nope. Oh, what did I call it? Nope, that's not it. Then like go right to it.
I did make a thing of common ones. And it's everything from
I can definitely see why you like it.
And fish sandwich.
Oh, gotcha.
This show is so gay.
That kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
But I need to go in and find more iconic ones and just have them more at the handy.
I know. We couldn't even fit them all on one page, though, all the iconic ones. It would have to be like 2 or 3 pages of them.
There you have it. All right. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you all for being here. Please support us. We love you and you love us. So why not help us? Patreon.com/TMS. If one of you, every single one of you, did just $1 a month. Imagine.
$1.
Imagine that world.
Except for the people who are already doing $1 or more.
Yeah, we'd love that you're there and keep doing what
stay
you're
where
doing.
you're at. Don't say, well, they want me to switch down to $1. Fine, I'll switch down to $1. Don't do that.
But all you freeloaders, just kidding. All you guys who just are like sitting on the fence going, man, I really should dive in. Now's your chance. Patreon.com/TMS. For everything else, frogpants.com/TMS. Brian, play me a song.
That's right. The 29th of every month is the best day to become a patron.
Oh, right.
The 29th of every month.
That's right, because we're about to switch over.
Except
Why
for
not?
February, but we don't talk about February 29th.
Or Smarch. Yeah.
Lovely Smarch weather.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about requests because I've got one. This is cool because this is actually one that was sent in by the listener, not just the request but the song. Robert Stevens wrote in and said, "Here's a song that would be fun to play as a cover at the end of the show. My friend Alan Mirikitani, BB Chung King, added the song to his CD Real for his daughter Olana because she loved NSYNC. Alan sadly passed away a few years ago. He was an amazing guitarist, a dear friend, and is missed. Thanks much, signed Robert." So this is a cover of NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye, covered by a band called the Buddha Heads, featuring BB Chung King on their new album Real. So make sure you go check out their album Real. I guess not a new album, 2002 album Real. But he did it because his daughter was a fan of NSYNC, and I think that's just the sweetest thing.
Oh.
Here are the Buddha Heads featuring BB Chung King and Bye Bye Bye.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back tomorrow with a whole new show. What's tomorrow? Wednesday? Yeah.
Wednesday.
Today's weird. I'm on DTNS today because Patrick's...
switching everything around.
Well, because Patrick's in LA tomorrow, so he's going to do from Tom's house, so he's swapping with me.
Gotcha.
And then... and then we're not doing core because the core guys are doing the live thing with me on Friday, which means
and then you got
Boop tomorrow. Yeah, it's all effed up this week.
Oh, man.
The calendar shows all of these changes. If you're interested, you can just go to frogpants.tv. There's a calendar thing. Click it, and you'll see all the scheduled stuff. All right. Here's that song now that Brian mentioned. We'll see you guys tomorrow. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Frog Pants Network. Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Liquid or solid?
Yeah, either one. It's fine. We don't discriminate. We'll take liquid or solid.